Hello, welcome to my channel, another Bibliophile Reads. My name is Greg, and I am way behind on doing my tags. So I'm going to knock off a few today, and I'm going to be doing a very popular tag, the I'm So Annoyed tag. It was originally created by Kelly at Books I'm Not Reading, based on a video from Melinda at Web of Stories. And I was tagged by MJ. There are 11 prompts. Number one, do publishers ever do things that you find annoying? Share an example. There is an increasing trend in publishers right now to boulderize older books. If you don't know, boulderization is making the text of older books a little more reader friendly for modern sensibilities. They take out the old language that authors used, not as an offensive language, but just common language. And they make it nice and pretty and make everyone happy. Now, an example of this would be Ian Fleming, who wrote the James Bond books. Last November, I was participating in a group called Dr. November, where we were reading espionage fiction. And I wanted to read the James Bond book. But all current books available for purchase were boulderized, where, as an example, is they took a racial slur for African Americans and made it a little nice. However, they forgot to take out the one about the Red Indians. So the Red Indians is okay for a racial slur, but not the one about African Americans. So I had to go seek out some Canadian ebooks that were not boulderized. So, I get really annoyed when publishers clean up the text because some of these old authors use language that is nowadays not used, but that's okay. As an intelligent reader, I know I can identify when the author's actually being a racist pig or just using the language of his or her day. Number two, have you ever been annoyed by a spoiler? Even something as simple as someone else telling you there's a great twist. Not really. I don't necessarily like a spoiler, but it's not going to prevent me from reading the book if I want to read it. Yeah, sure, I like discovering some things on my own, but it's nothing that's really going to bother me too hard. Number three, have you ever been annoyed by what you discovered in a little free library, a book sale, or used bookstore? Tell us what you found and why it was so annoying. A few years ago, I was participating in a Faulkner in August group. We were reading the Snopes trilogy by William Faulkner. And I had an ebook of the Hamlet and a library edition of the Hamlet. And I had a paperback copy of the Hamlet. And I offered up my paperback Hamlet to anyone who wanted it in the United States. I'd mail it off to them. No one took me up on that offer. So what I did is I took that copy of the Hamlet and dropped it off at a little free library, thinking someone will enjoy this William Faulkner. About a year later, I returned to that little free library. And guess what I saw on its little contents? Yes, my copy of the Hamlet by William Faulkner. No one picked it up in that year. I guess Faulkner isn't that popular. Well, okay, maybe someone read it and enjoyed it so much they returned it to the little free library. Maybe. I kind of doubt that. So it's really annoying to see that my Faulkner book's still there. Number four, when it comes to short story collections, are you annoyed if there's a novella in the middle of the collection? No, not really, because what it's saying is it's a collection of stories. They don't have to be short stories. And a novella is just fine in the middle of a collection of short stories. I don't mind at all. Number 5, deckled edges. Beautiful or annoying? I think they're beautiful. Just look at this. This is just, it makes these books just look very elegant. I think so. I'm saying deckled edges, beautiful. Number 6, other people's annotations in a used book or library book. Annoying? Are you okay with it? I'm gonna put up my dukes again, get the mean scowl. I absolutely detest annotations in a book. I made a complete video about it. I think it is absolutely deplorable to despoil a nice, fresh book with handwriting. And if you do, just keep that book to yourself. It's yours forever until you die, and then it hits the recycle bin. Number 7, if there is a series or collection of certain kinds of books, like an imprint, and changes are made, are you annoyed? Are you okay with it? If yes, give us an example. Okay, right behind me here is my NYRB Classics. They're very uniform. They have slightly different colors, although I've noticed that there may be a color match depending on the genre of the book. I have not quite absolutely determined that, but I think so. But they look absolutely beautiful on my shelf as a unit, and I absolutely love it. Now, sometimes publishers don't remain uniform, and I'm going to pick up this series of books. This is the Ed McBain 87th Precinct books. Now, there are 57 books in this series, or somewhere around there. They started publishing them in the 50s, and I think they ended in the early aughts, or somewhere around there. I'm not positive. But as you can see, I pulled out some samples of what these books look like. We got these plain blue Signet. We got Avon. I'm not even sure what this old one is. That's a really old edition. And wow, it's a great edition. And then we have some Ballantine books. They're all different. You know, they don't have that nice, elegant look the way the NYRB Classics look. So, yes, it's annoying, but with a series that's been published over such a long time, it'd be very hard to get the entire series in one uniform collection, unless you wait for the publisher to reprint them and buy the new. The only problem is I like the old covers much better than the new covers. People knew how to design covers back in the day, in the 50s and 60s. They did covers just so much better. Number 8. Do the decisions of characters in a novel ever annoy you? Share the book and what decisions you found annoying. You know, it really doesn't bother me. Sometimes you see a character do something stupid, but it moves along the plot. It's, well, okay, but I can't think of any example where I'm particularly annoyed about what a character did or did not do. Are you ever annoyed by how someone organizes their books? What do you find annoying? I have a very peculiar way of arranging my books. I arrange them by hardcover, then trade paperback, and then mass market. While it does not create an entire unity of books, it does make them look more nice together. As you can see, I'm sitting in front of my trade paperbacks, and they just look better when they're not mixed with mass markets or paperbacks. You go over there and you can see those are my mass markets. They look very nice together. And if you squeeze over in that corner, you can start beginning to see my hardcover books looking all nice together. So when I see a bookshelf and it's all jumbled together, it's the mass markets, it's the trade paperbacks, it's the hardcover, it all is mixed together. It just looks chaotic and messy. And I guess I'm a anal in the way I keep my books. I like them mostly in alphabetical order by author. And I do, as I said, separate out some publishers. And when I see other people's jumbled mess of books, it just makes me want to straighten it up. Of course, I used to work in a bookstore in my late 20s and early 30s. Early 30s, yeah, I was still working in a bookstore. So I have this natural tendency to want to organize a bookshelf. Share something bookish that you find annoying. I'm not entirely sure this is completely bookish, but something that annoys me, and again, gets me want to put up my dukes, is movie cover editions of books. Doesn't matter if the movie's good or bad. Well, if the movie's it's almost certainly going to be bad, but I don't need to see a movie cover on my book. I don't want to see the picture of the actors or the scene. Just leave it as it was. And I don't even need a sticker saying this is a Netflix adaptation, soon to be a major motion picture. I don't care because honestly, I just don't give a flip about film adaptations. And it really makes me annoyed when you get a nice paperback book and they have a movie cover on it. It's just like, no, don't want to see that. Number 11, tag some people. I think a lot of people have been tagged in this. So I'm going to tag 3 people. If you want to do it, go ahead and do it. If you've already been tagged, sorry, it's just a popular tag and you get tagged multiple times in popular tags. But I'm going to be doing Jim at Mystery and Mayhem, Randy Ray, The Literate Texan, and Mark at Book Time with Elvis. Thank you so much for watching and keep on reading.